Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I don't know how you got here, but I do hope that you'll stay until the end of this video because in this particular video, we're going to continue working on a condominium studio unit here in the Philippines that I have been commissioned for. Okay, so a quick recap is, so we started kind of finalizing the layout of the studio unit based on consultations with the client and based on my previous drawings. And I also started kind of delving into perspectives here and there so you can kind of see them. I was working on the kitchen last time, so we kind of have a final layout of how the kitchen will look, which is right here. And previously I was kind of trying to figure out how to make a bed come out of nowhere in this portion right here. So we have a sofa that's against the wall, most likely going to be fixed there, but I wanted to come up with a bed that didn't have to fold down so we could avoid, like, instant accidents where someone might be under it and they'll get squished and made into a Jill sandwich, or instances where we'd have to extend it out, where there'd be a portion in the middle that will bend inward eventually after a few uses. And between these periods where I'm not actually making drawings or anything, I am still kind of trying to conceive ideas, trying to design the perfect idea that we can come up with for the problem. And I kind of came up with this idea. It's actually not quite new, and probably if you've been following along, you probably came up with the idea before I did. But let me go ahead and get a fresh start here. So I was coming up with this idea that I wanted the bed to be sturdy, because that's like the most comfortable way to sleep. You don't want to sleep on an incline, and you don't want to live with the idea that any moment this thing could fall over you. So I came up with this idea where you have these interlocking chambers of two long crates. Okay, so let's draw it out first. Let's go ahead and use 0.6 so that you can kind of see the idea. So if we can use our imagination, because it's a bit difficult to draw these kind of these kind of inventions. So it's not technically a new idea, but it's somewhat of a simplified version of an idea from other people that kind of just dawned on me that we could use in order to come up with a bed that would be sturdy enough when unfolded. Okay, so we're just going to continue with our very rough drawings method. Okay, so we're going to have two boxes, and the way they're going to work is they're going to kind of intersect with each other. So I'm going to try to draw this as best I can. It's really hot here in the Philippines this evening, so excuse me if my skin is sticking to the paper. Okay. So I think you're starting to get the idea as I draw it here, but we're going to go ahead and finish the drawing as best as possible. Okay, so it's always difficult to draw multiple lines, especially when you're trying to make them all even and you have different angles going all over the place, but I'm gonna do my best here. I'm not exactly the best at straight lines, which is why that's one of the reasons why I also do prefer scribbles. But so we're just gonna have a bunch of these frames, just like that, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, so we have a bunch of these frames that are just going to interlock with each other. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Okay. worse as this progresses. Okay. So this is the solution that I have come up with, and I have presented this to the client, and they're actually on board with this. They like this idea. So probably when I start encoding this into the computer, I'll make a more refined drawing. But we're gonna have two of these kinds of box frames where they're just kind of ribbed, and they're going to interlock with each other. And most likely, we're going to have like the width be somewhere between 0.85 to 0.9 meters. And then we'll have this one be the length of the wall, of course. And this kind of provides us with a solution to our problem, because first of all, it doesn't have to drop down, you know. So let's make it 850. So that means when this extends, it's going to be about 1.6 meters, and this is going to be the length of that wall, which is probably going to be around 1.8. So let's go ahead and just make it 1,800. Okay, my drawing is a bit crooked, I'm sorry, but so you're going to have two of these that are going to interlock with each other, and then they're going to pull apart. And this kind of solves our problem that I was discussing last time. So last time I was afraid of using, if we have the floor here, I don't want to use a bed that just drops down, simply because you want to be safe at all times, and you can never tell, you know, like if someone is just minding their own business right here, sitting down, and then all of a sudden, bam, right on their head. Ouch. Right? You don't want that kind of situation. The other situation here is where you have the, so if we have the bed and we have the floor, and we have the bed kind of pulls out, right? Because what happens is when this is fully extended, if it's used enough times, eventually, even if you have support here in the middle, eventually, and you'd experience this if you've slept on these kind of beds in the past, eventually this is definitely just going to keep going down and down. And that's what we wanted to avoid. So with this solution, we kind of solved all of the problems. So it doesn't fall down. We have two sturdy frames. So that means here in the center, there's not going to be any depression after a while, both in terms of height and in terms of emotion. And also, the thing about this is it gives us an opportunity to experiment with, you know, new options in the design world, like because these are the most common types. But with this, you know, people can see that it's actually working. And I think that's a problem the architecture world, especially in the design world. Like once we see something that works already, we're very hesitant to try to change it to become something better. Like the way we usually work upon what's already there. We don't try to work upon we don't try to work on something that's new. You know, probably in 100 years from now, things will just materialize. So like this will become obsolete. But that's kind of one of the things about being a designer. You have to realize that eventually the things that you work with in your time will become obsolete, and then you have to kind of readapt into the new times. Otherwise, you'll just be stuck in purgatory. So this will be the solution for the bed. So if you can imagine it, if this is 850, you only there's about 150 space in the back. So if you can imagine it, the cushion will kind of be here, and then it'll be folded up, then here, right? And then when you extend it, sorry, when you extend it, you just pull everything out, turns into a bed. Granted, it is a bit of a small bed, I'm not gonna lie, but we have to work with conserving as much space as we can, because as you've seen previously, and as you can see right here, it is a very small unit. So we have to work with what we got. So with that said, we can start we can already start finalizing the idea of how this room is going to look, right? So let's say we have arch, then we have a cabinet here, bam. So bam, bam, bam. All right, all right, all right. Just rough sketches, and let's say it ends up there. So at least we can say that this is going to be kind of the final look of the living space. Foldable, foldable, foldable right here, and then this portion can be kind of blocked off, and then within it you can see the frame. Bam, just like that. Okay. And then another concern that the client has expressed in a recent consultation is, so here in this image you can see that I've used swing type cabinet doors. So they prefer to have sliding cabinet doors, which is not a problem at all. So here we'll have two doors, both of them just sliding. Okay. And we'll get out our trusty little eraser here. Bam. Just to make it a bit cleaner. Okay. Alright, so now at least we have an idea of what's going on. Right here, so they do agree with the idea of having the shelf here, but they'd like to make it into an altar, which is fine. Very, very traditional Filipino style. A house will have an altar. So we can put that there, and then we can have like a small cabinet in the bottom for like candles and lights and whatnot, right? So it's kind of like that. Okay. My angles are a bit awkward here. Okay, then we have like some pillows, bam, bam, bam. Okay, and up here, of course, we'll have the two cabinets. Right. Okay, and we have a thunderstorm going on outside. Okay, that's fine. Bam. So, very, 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 very rough drawings. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Don't be ashamed of, even if you can't draw, don't think that you can't be an architect. Actually, an architect is, the main job of an architect is not to draw, but to plan. I think that's one of the lost notions of what an architect actually does, is they make a plan that, you know, that hopefully will make everything work smoothly. Okay, bam, bam. I mean, if you're going to be an architect that's just gonna focus mostly on just designing for beauty purposes, then most likely you're not gonna find that many answers to problems, and that kind of that means you should just, you know, you should have just taken fine arts. Because fine arts is about, you know, making beautiful things. Aside from other things, of course, but, you know. Okay, so we can put a cabinet here. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and fill it up with some thicker lines. Okay. Bam. You know, just don't be afraid to draw lines. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, the important thing is you learn from them. As long as you're learning from your mistakes, then it's not time wasted. Alright, so here we got this going on here. Up there, bam. And then here, so we have a shelf. So this is going to be kind of an inward thing here. I'm not really sure what they put in altars these days, but I'm pretty sure it's like, you know, something like those dolls of saints and stuff. Okay, bam, bam. Pretty sure they have like candles as well. I wouldn't really recommend candles here because they'll cause a fire definitely. But it's up to the client. This is a bit wider than it should be. Of course, it's going to be only around 600, but that's just to accentuate, what's going on there. When I say 600, I mean 0.6 meters. Okay, go ahead and put that there. Then we're going to have sliding doors up here. Bam, sliding door 1, sliding door 2. Okay, not a problem at all. Sliding door. We can have a little handle here and a handle there for sliding. Ooh, thunderstorm outside, but that's not going to deter us. See, and don't worry about things overlapping with each other. Sometimes even when it's messy, you can make it look clean just by how you present things. Okay, so there, we have this idea already of how this is going to work. So everything here is already getting finalized. Up here, we're not going to be able to make them into sliding. Or actually, we could make them into sliding. Let's go ahead and do that. Now the thing about sliding doors is, you can't fully open everything, so there'll be a portion in the center that you can't just get around. But yeah, I think it's fine. Or what's probably better if you have awning type doors. That way they open this way. That way you can fully access that whole space. Yeah, I think that's much better. Okay. So that's what's going on there. Now, give me a moment here. I want to kind of open up a picture to use as a reference. Where is it? One moment. This is our studio project, and so last time I was explaining how I was advising that they should probably change the flooring, but the problem is the budget, of course, so we can't really change the flooring. But we will have to work with the colors that they have. So I'm gonna try to get as close to the color as I can. Colors are not exactly my strongest what is that attribute. I'm not really good with working on colors, but we're gonna go ahead and try to make it work here. So the flooring, it's kind of a brown orange. So also with colors, I tend to be more scribblish. It's one of those things when I was studying architecture, they like really pressed hard on those colors. So their renderings would always be much more visible than mine would be. But I'm not really the kind of person that enjoys. I don't know. I feel it's too hard on the eyes. So I actually just enjoy it kind of being like this. Oh man, that storm outside. And I feel like there's a slight hint of red there. I'm just trying to catch the color of this flooring. We're not trying to actually imitate the whole floor, but we want to catch the color to figure out. Because what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to make a color palette so that the client has something to visually work with. So I'm just going to scribble that out there. Okay. The thing about colors is sometimes you see brown, but so like for example, these tiles are brown, and I will use brown eventually, but I'm trying to kind of get a base color here, which is what the brown is going to overlap. Okay. So you see brown, but there's actually a lot of things going on, because the way that colors work is they're actually pigments, or they're actually hues different types of hues reflected off of surfaces that are translated into color into our eyes. So now I'm going to use the brown. Let's see how well this works. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't look pretty, I know, but what's important is that your eyes kind of see something going on. Okay. Like I said, I'm not really, I'm not the best with colors. Okay. So we have kind of the base color going on here. But, man, I think I'm pissing off the heavens with my coloring. But I think there's a bit more orange. I think the orange is supposed to be more overpowering. Yeah, something like that. This is how I color. Sorry if this disappoints anybody's idea of coloring, or if it's like just hurting you to watch this, but this is actually much more fun to do. Okay, so let me see here. I feel like I'm capturing the essence here. Let's go ahead and add a bit more brown here. Just a bit more. So the tiles are actually like a wooden, have a wooden pattern on them. So let's see here, just like that. I think I've captured the essence. I feel like this is kind of capturing it. Okay. Then we're going to just make some sloppy lines here. I'm not quite sure how big these tiles are, but I'm just going to assume. Okay. A bit darker. So this isn't the scale, of course, so. And they're actually in a running bond pattern. A running bond means that they're alternating and they're long, so this is probably not right. But we'll just make it like this. Just like that. Okay. That is a running bond pattern. All right, so it's something like that. Okay, now we're gonna make them a bit more accentuated by using the brown, because they are brown tiles. Just like that, guys. Yeah, the heavens are not happy with my coloring. It's okay. Hopefully they'll be happy with my solution. Okay. Something like this. kind of trying to work with what we have here in the drawing, or in the photo. This isn't to scale, guys, so don't think that the tiles are this big. Okay, something like that. A bit more here. More there. Add the orange again. If you ask me though, because when I was going through college, I didn't really like having like the giant sets of colored pencils. I always had just like 8 or 12 colors, so I had to really learn how to like mix things, and it just made me kind of lazy. That's one of the reasons I didn't really learn, but I think it's a better way to learn how to do colors. Because you can't really appreciate color that much if you don't have a grasp of how light and colors work. I think that's a problem with a bunch of architects these days. Like, they design buildings without taking into consideration the sun or the light that's, you know, around. And what happens is, like, in their head, in their renders and stuff like that, they have this completely different view of how it will look when it's and then when it's finally built, that's when they finally see, like, okay, there's a bit of a problem here. The colors are not, no matter what they do with the colors, it's just not happening. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but, you know, you should always take into consideration light whenever you design something. Don't just, you know, don't just assume that the colors that you make will work with the area. And the way you can do that is like through this method of actually just manually coloring it and not letting the computer do everything. So here we have this. Now I'm just gonna mess around with different colors, see what works, see what doesn't work. The wall currently is kind of a beige color. So let's go ahead and, oof, the heavens are not happy with my coloring skills. So this one is more basic, I think. It's, we have a bit of pinkish hue. We'll put a bit of orange in there. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so what can work with these colors? That's what we're trying to figure out here. The client expressed that they wanted like an industrial type of design, but I'm not quite sure that'll work in this instance because we have a lot of warm colors going on, and industrial is not really a warm kind of color vibe. Industrial is more on the grays and the whites and the blacks and everything in between there. But they don't really want anything too messy. So, of course, you know, white is always a good option when it comes to warm colors. It just neutralizes everything a bit. And maybe, of course, natural colors that we get from, oh my gosh, anger. Natural colors that we get from like wood and stuff. Let's try to work with some yellow in here. Yellow can come from bleached wood, so we're gonna kind of like assume this right here is gonna be like a bleached wood, and we can add some pink in there. Just bleach it out a bit. Yeah, then some brown here. So brown, a bit of brown on the top. like a bleached wood kind of color, and just do that. I'm not quite sure if it's working here. Get some more brown in there. I was really hoping to work with some like white duku finishes, and I think we can still incorporate that here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make this mattress somewhere in the white zones, but we're gonna put some red here, just for the pillow. Yeah, just like that. Perhaps a blue color. When I was studying, they really liked to make fun of my coloring skills because I really like to keep things very simple. Shade it underneath. Now the thing about this is, so like I said earlier, when you're working with colors, you don't take into consideration the light. So what we have here is like we have some beige going on here. So we kind of want to get the idea that the beige is reflecting onto the surfaces. So what we do is we kind of have to mix it into the color there. Then of course here, since we have brown, we kind of mix the brown here so that it's kind of reflecting. Of course, if you're better with color pencils than I am, then you'll probably do a much more better job. But yeah, and here on the other side, let's also make it of some sort of a blue, something blue, just like that. Okay, and once again, kind of get the reflection here, just like that, and we'll get the reflection underneath as well. Just like that. Okay. And here, of course, we have red going into there, so we kind of have to reflect the red onto the pillow. So, like I was mentioning earlier, colors come when light reflects off a surface, and that's how we perceive the color, based on the wavelength, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Okay, and for this, we'll leave it white for now. I really want to work with a white duku finish, but we're gonna have to figure out how this is gonna all get together first. So here, we're gonna use some more yellow. So the yellow is really overpowering here. I think I'm not mixing it properly, but I'm trying to get like a bleached color going on. Just like that. Okay. Kind of a bleached wood. And here also. Get that yellow in there. Right there. This is going to be a bleached wood also, along with the inner lining. Yeah, something like that. Get some brown in there. So when it comes to color, this is going to be a lot more experimental. Get this here. I usually see these things wearing some sort of red, or maybe it's more of a purple. mix these. Mixing red and blue gets us bread. Now it gets us purple. Just like that, just like that. Gonna get him into a pink color there. And for some reason we have gold and basic colors, but okay, whatever. Move that into the hair here. Okay, get those into the candles as well. Okay, let's make some red in there as well. Okay, so this is what's going on so far. I wish there wasn't a rainstorm or thunderstorm, sorry. Okay, and perhaps on the top as well. Get that too. So we have a fascia board up here. Mix it with a bit of brown. Just like that. Terminations, guys, don't forget. Okay. So we're trying to go for a bleached wood with white. And we're not going to take into consideration this side here, just, you know, because this is kind of where the section is. This is the wall already, so it's going to be black. So pretend this doesn't exist over here. Bam, just like that. Same with up here. Does not exist, it's just, this is already where the ceiling would be, so we're gonna block it off using black. And go ahead and cut this off as well. Terminations, just like I always say. And I'm gonna kind of scribble that just like that. All right, so this is what we have to work with so far. Let's see. We have some wood. Perhaps this was not a good idea. Maybe we should just make that interior white, but we'll figure it out along the way. One thing I forgot to do, the depth of this thing. So this one, the sliding door is only going to be somewhere around there. Sorry. Because there's a depth here of about 250 to 300. Okay. So we have, these colors are what's going on. We have a drawer here. Right. Okay. So now we have to come up with a color for the this bad boy right here. Kind of thinking like along the lines of red also, because we're kind of in the warm color territory. Let's see how it looks. Like a light red. Just a very light red. Is it working? Probably can't tell because my rendering sucks, but we'll figure it out along the way. So kind of have like a red here. So I'm gonna keep the white Dooku idea here, and then we're gonna have like a bleached wood effect for the other surfaces. Got the dark brown, we have the beige. Then we just have to make everything else work actually. So let's put some light blue there. Something like This is kind of why I didn't like the tiles. Because it's making me... Because usually when you have like a very neutral tile, things like this would be your accents. But we don't have that, so we have to work with what we got. Okay. Then what else is going on here? So it's kind of reflecting off there. Gotta have the brown reflecting. So even though a surface is white, you can't really just leave it white. So the best thing you can do is look at its surroundings and try to pick up on the reflections. And hopefully that'll make it look more alive. Okay. But because we have these brown tiles, we have to really stick with the dark tones. And the way we can make it a bit cooler is, I mean cooler as in temperature wise, not in social status. So the way we can make it cooler is by using white to neutralize it. Okay. So there, I think this will probably be our somewhat of a palette that we're gonna try to introduce this to the client, see how they feel about it, because we're stuck with the warm colors. We could actually just go off the rails, but trying to keep it as clean as possible. Okay, and you shouldn't be afraid to use black. Black is just, it's one of those colors you're afraid to use because it has that ability to actually just take over everything. Darkness takes over. But we can't be afraid to use it. We have to figure out how to tame the black. Okay. And then we'll just put it here on the side. There we go. I don't think I'm really doing justice to my idea of how I'm kind of imagining this to work out. But this very warm palette going on. The inside of here, I guess, can also be bleached wood. Not quite sure yet. Okay. Huh. I mean, hope it will work. Maybe this red is not going to be a final decision. I'm still thinking what other colors we can put in here. Maybe we can just make it like pure yellow actually in there. Let's see how that works. The problem with this yellow is it's so freaking bright. It's overpowering a lot of things. I'm pretty sure it will mix well with the Dooku here. Brightness, yellow. Not many people would put this much effort into a scribble drawing. But I'm not like other people. We will put the edge in here. Okay. Something like this color scheme. I'm not quite sure if it's working for me here. so let's put it here on the side. So we have kind of a mood board going on. This yellow is so freaking overpowering. Something like that. So we want kind of like a bleached wood color. Do here, just gonna put a box around that. Bleached wood. Then of course we have the color of the tiles, which I think the base is yellow or orange, sorry. The stars were yellow. Okay. So I'm kind of trying to work around the yellow and orange, the warm colors here. Add a bit of pink shade. Red. Just like that. And some overpowering brown. Just like that. Okay. But I think this is kind of near the color of the tile. Not completely. Put that in a box here. My boxes are different shapes apparently, or different sizes. And then we also have the color of the wall. So we'll put that over here on the top. The wall is more the easiest color here. So we have that and a bit of orange going on. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and box that in. So we have the wall, bleached wood, the wooden tiles. I'm actually going to add a bit more brown here. And I'm pretty sure the base of that is orange. I'll add a bit more brown here as well. A bit more pink. Something like that, yeah. And then we'll also have our Dooku finish, which is just white. And to show that's white, we're going to just do this. Something like that, so it's white. And then we have, so we kind of don't have any accent colors yet, which I was kind of hoping would be the red, but the red isn't really working for me. I mean, because it's too dark. So actually, perhaps we can use blue? No. Blue, blue, blue. Let's try it out. Let's put a bit of blue here. Dark, dark, dark blue. So the accent color is kind of to make the space kind of pop out a bit. Yellow, but we don't want to make it too green. Just want it to be yellowed. So that's kind of our counter color to the other ones. Not quite sure how I feel about it yet. Like I said, coloring is really not my strong suit. And we still have to work with these colored tiles. Hopefully this will work out, hopefully. Because the door is also quite a dark brown as well. Well, let's try something else. Let us try doing more stuff, because If you imagine, the kitchen is also going to be something like this. I'm thinking bleached wood countertop kind of thing, white duku cabinet doors, cabinet covers, overhead cabinet covers. The shelf will also be a bleached wood, and then this portion will be a duku finish, white duku. So it's kind of having like this yellow and white vibe, and then you'll have that dark brown floor. But I'm not quite sure yet. Let's try to delve in further into this project, just a little bit further. Let's try to move into the bedroom space. So the bedroom, we're gonna do a 1-point perspective because the bedroom is really small. My paper has warped a bit. Okay. So I'm not sure if they're gonna lower the ceiling or anything. So this is actually kind of wide. Get out the trusty eraser. Oops, get that out of the way. This actually should be more square. Yeah, something like that. Ceiling should be a bit higher. So erase that, erase this, just like so. Get the brush out here, get that out of the way. We still don't have much going on for the lighting yet. It's because I'm not quite sure what we can work out there. But also, if we're going to go with this layout, another color we're going to add here is gold. We're going to add some gold just right here. So there's going to be some gold, blue and gold, just like that, just like that. We're going to add some blue, some light blue. So that's our palette here. That's my 0.6 at. Something like this. Because they're asking for a chandelier here. I believe they're a Scandinavian style chandelier, a very small one. And I'm thinking that's going to have to be an undergold spectrum. So we'll work on that later in a bit. Here, just gonna keep playing around. Not playing around, but you know, experimenting. Better term. There we go. Got a 1-point perspective. Let's make this angle a bit deeper. Yeah, deep. This one is gonna be a bit here. Something like that. And then we'll have the bed. Right there. Gonna have to make it a bit further down, sorry. Just like that. Bed here. Right there. So that's the bed. Make it a bit steeper right here. Okay. So just play around with your scribbles, guys. Don't be too intimidated. Okay. Then spit at it. It's a bit of an angle. That's why. Okay. Let's fix the angle a bit. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Use our eraser again to kind of straighten it out a bit. Just like that. Good. And then we'll put this one a bit here in the center. More. Yeah, just like that. Okay. So it's kind of hard to imagine because you know, kind of working at a weird angle because I want to see this side of it. So here's this angle right here. There's this angle right here, just going way out there. Then we have this line here. Okay. Right. So looks a bit awkward, doesn't it? Okay. Gonna have a line there. So right here is our altar. You know, a lot of times people, because I have an English accent, an American accent, not an English accent, sorry. When I say altar, they're like, what? So if you're here in the Philippines, say altar, something. I can't do it right. But anyway, so the altar right here, just a bit higher than the bed, right? They have a TV here, not a big TV, just a good enough TV. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then they have the window here. I'm gonna put a fascia all the way across. Just one giant fascia, and then we're just gonna make this whole thing into curtains. So I'm not going to use blinds for this design because we used curtains in the kitchen, so we're going to kind of work in curtains here as well. Okay, and then here we're going to have like a couple of shelves, you know, just for trinkets and stuff. Something, I don't know. Right, something like that. Okay. Is a bit too big here. Okay, we got that going on. This is the end of that one. This one. Okay, so just another rough drawing. Have pillows here. Just have a bed mattress kind of dropping down here. Something like that. Okay, something like this. Okay, let's go ahead and work on that. We're just gonna make it super duper rough, guys. That's the theme of this whole series so far, super duper rough. Okay, fascia, very big fascia. And let's go ahead and work on this bed here. The thing about people is they're not as clean as we imagine them to be. So you shouldn't be afraid to make things messy, because when you make things a bit too perfect, that's when it starts to look creepy. Okay. And then I'm gonna have the bed cover here. Right there. gonna make it perfect. Let's kind of fold it out here. Okay. And then put it over here. Just like that. Okay. And we'll have our bed cover here. Just like that. Then we'll have the two drawers here in the center. One and two. Just like that. So both quite long. This one, gonna go ahead and, so this one is kind of where it kind of goes off the rails. Because if it's a 2-point perspective, these should just be straight, but I kind of made them go inward that way. So we'll put that there, put this here, something like that going on. And hopefully the curtains won't go all the way down to the bed, but okay. There we go. So we got that going on, and then this one here. Fascia on the top. Okay, and then here we have our TV. I think this is actually too big. I'm gonna go here. Something like this. Make it slant down a bit, as if they were in the watching position already. Okay, kind of do that here, and then those lines. Then to indicate that it's an LCD screen, we'll kind of do that, just like that. Okay. So this will just be clean white duku, just a clean surface. Here on these shelves, you know what? I think it'll look better if it's just right here. Right here. Both on equal sides, equal lengths. That way if you sit up, you're not gonna hit your head on it. So it'll just be there. So this one, that's fine. Let's put a bit of space here on the side. Okay, and hopefully if the ceiling is high enough, I did advise that it would be nice if they just have cove lighting, because the thing you don't want in your bedroom, in your sleeping area, is, you know, direct light on your face. When direct light is in your face, then you're just gonna be up all night. And at least if it's a cove lighting, it's not directly, it's an indirect light shining onto you. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Now, for these two surfaces here, we're going to go ahead and go with the white duku as well. And then this here will be the white duku, and then that will just be the, this will be where the altar is. Here we have the flooring again, so let's start with the orange base. So it's okay that your when you color that it kind of overlaps into things, because if it's going to be in a lit up area, then the reflection is going to bounce onto that surface. Okay, just like that. We're going to start off with the orange base. Why do I keep saying base? I don't really know what that means, don't ask. Okay, something like that. Then we're gonna go ahead and add the brown onto there. Just like that. So I'm not really a dark color, as I mentioned earlier. And I don't really press hard on the pencil. Just kind of let it do its thing. Okay, a bit of pink there. So right now I'm just kind of making it go all this direction. Because in a moment I'm going to start hatching. What is hatching? You'll find out in a moment. Okay, and then we're going to have some light red. Hatching is kind of when you start doing this, you start overlapping with in a crossing method, just like that, just like that, just like that. Then you overlap it again in another crossing method, just like that. Just like that. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to do the same with the orange. Just keep on hatching. Just like that. Alright. Okay. Then we're going to take the brown again, just a bit more. Make it a bit darker still. Hatching. So over there. Over here. Okay. And there. We'll get our 0.2 again. 0.2, right. Just try to follow the lines, I suppose. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. Then we're going to do our running bond pattern. So we'll start here, I guess. Going across, just going across. Then we'll go on the other side, going across. Then go back, cross. Okay. Then just accentuate it a bit more. Just like that. That's fine. I'm doing it on this side because most likely sunlight is this way. I mean, just in case you were wondering why I picked a certain direction. Okay. So all of that, Dooku finish. Of course, we're going to have a fascia board here at the top. Bam, just like that. Okay. You know, what would be nice maybe if this was all wood planks. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Just like that. Wood planks right there, through and through. Okay. And then we'll kind of like do this. Yeah, okay. So that whole wall can just be like our bleached wood. You know, if the client so chooses that this is a fun idea. Just like that. Let's get some of the pink on there. brown. Just like that. Kind of overpowered a bit, just like that. Bam, bam, bam. Then we'll do this here. Kind of put shadow under. Okay. Something like that. We're just, just making colors, guys. And then, let's see here. So this is a Dooku white finish, so let's just kind of like make the colors bounce off it a bit. And then this here is a beige ball. Beige, 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 beige. Alright, so we'll put a bit of yellow in there, just like so. Overpower it, and then, so, yeah, something like that. Just using these colors and trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out together. We got this right there. Get our number 6. Just go here on the side. Okay. Here we can have another shelf actually. Perhaps? Not quite sure yet, Let's see if we want it to be clean or what. So here, like I said, cove lighting. Just like that. So it'll be yellow. Okay. This one here will be our bleached wood as well. So we got a lot of the bleached wood going on here. Get some of the brown on there. And what else, guys? So earlier I was saying how we can use blue as our accent here. So let's go ahead and make some blue. Blue, 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 blue. We're just trying to get an idea. Blue pillows as well. Just go ahead and do that. Something blue. The cover can be white. All right. Something reflecting onto the surface there. So this plain white Dooku wall, probably not going to work out, so we're going to have to figure out what we can do there. This one here. Okay. And gold blinds somewhere, or maybe blue as well. Not quite sure yet. We'll figure that out. Blue. A lighter shade of blue, perhaps. I'm not too certain about the blinds yet, but we'll figure it out, guys. Maybe we'll have like a blue gold dress thing going on. Something like that, I suppose. Anyway, let's go ahead and kind of scribble some more on here. This is kind of the problem with one-point perspectives. Like they don't really give you much to work with, because it kind of. Hey, so you might have noticed that the camera quality has changed a bit, and so did the angle. I apparently ran out of memory on my other camera, so we're using this camera for now. And anyway, so we were continuing with the bedroom, and just kind of using black now. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to the video, the recording, so a portion of it got lost, but it's fine. So at least you can kind of see it kind of evolved a bit. So this is kind of the color scheme that's going on. Let's kind of just scribble around here. Get my 0.2 again. Get some wood grains on this, the tiles here. Okay. And then for some accentuation, we're going to scribble there, this one here, just like that. Okay, so this is how the color scheme is kind of working out so far. Not quite sure how I feel about it, but we'll have to discuss with the clients first. I'm trying to do my best to work with these tiles here, but let's see what happens. We shall see what happens. Now, so sorry that you didn't get to see that whole process, but we're gonna move on to one last topic that the client has expressed, and it's regarding the little work desk here in this area. So instead of having it this way, they want to have it facing outwards here, and they want to have kind of like a small, how can I explain this? A small kind of accent type of desk going on. So I'm just gonna draw that real fast. I know the camera is a bit different, so it's not really capturing the whole thing that I'm trying to do here. But so we're gonna try to do the same kind of one-point perspective, where it's kind of like that, yeah. So one-point perspective, just so you know, we have a point here that's somewhere in there. So that's our 1 point. And everything else is kind of just going into that point, intersecting with the corners, something like that. Okay, so around this point is the bed. This is where the bedroom is, somewhere, something like that. Then out here is already the living area right here. So I'm not sure how high the ceiling height is yet, so this is kind of looking a bit strange. But anyway, perhaps we can lower it a bit. Maybe around there. Yeah, something around there probably. Right around there. That's fine. So we can say that that's the ceiling height. Okay. Quick drawings. Rough, quick drawings. So right here is where they expressed a bit of a change. and that's completely fine. But it's gonna be a very small desks here. So they kind of expressed they wanted to have like a desk here. And unfortunately, because the space is so small, this is the only thing that I could suggest to them. Like they were showing me pictures of the kind of ideas that they were hoping to see, but you know, like I always say, you have to work with what you got. So I kind of told them that we can apply that idea here. So let's see, I'm not quite sure how high the ceiling is yet, but I'm thinking up here we can have a little shelf for like books or something. And then here is gonna be the desk. Okay. And then here they want to have like a slatted wall. So pretty sure they want it along the side. Something like that. So here we can have some books. Just but we'll discuss it. I'll discuss it more with the client eventually. Yeah, so something like this. So this space already is kind of tight. Remember, this isn't final anyways, because we still don't know what's going on this ceiling height. We still haven't done an as-built plan. Anyway, so it's gonna have like a slatted wall here for that area. Okay. And this is where the TV for the living room is. Not quite sure how big they want to make it yet. This is our small dining set for this area. Just like that, just like that. Well, not exactly like this, but you know. Just like that. Kind of like that, something like that. Okay. And then this is our recliner. Okay. So this one is just going to be kind of rough because I really am not completely sure what's going on here yet. But super rough drawing just so you have an idea. Go ahead and put this here. Oh shoot, I drew it too far. Anyway, imagine that the couch isn't this far out. Then we have dining table. Someone screaming outside, I don't know why. Ottoman chairs. Just like that. TV. Okay. And then we're gonna have our this thing. So remember, it's not supposed to be this far out. You know what? Let's just kind of scribble over it, something like that. And then we'll put a pillow here, and the pillow here. Here we can put like a centerpiece, something like that, just so it has more design pizzazz. Super duper rough drawing, guys. So here, bam, then we'll have that terminate here. Then here we're gonna have a slatted wall. Okay, just in that area. Then here, up here, we can probably put some books. Something like that. Just like that. Okay. So, yeah, this is what they kind of expressed they wanted to have on this side, so we'll put that there. still not quite final with everything yet, so like I said, this is still a work in progress. Then we'll have the curtains there. Yeah. We'll have a chair here, and then we have the column on this end, so okay, something like that. Then we have the bed all the way over here. Floor, bam. Yeah. So we're gonna actually try to develop this more as we go on with the project. As of right now, we're not, because, you know, like I said, I still don't have all the, I don't have any way to determine the size of everything yet, because everything, we still don't have an as-built plan, so just kind of assuming that this is what everything is looking like right now. Kind of using my scribbling technique that nobody really enjoys because they think it's messy, but hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So this is the TV. Have some books up here. That up there. Then once again, to the floor. So this one is just going to be purely a scribble, just so we have an idea of what's going on. What's going on so far? Okay, an idea of what we're doing with the color scheme. Right? Okay. Forgive me for the camera again. Very last minute sudden change of camera. And we're gonna just fill in the books. Doesn't really have to be perfect. It just has to look like books, basically. And then TV here. Okay, then we're gonna have the yellow for the bleached wood right there, bleached wood, and then bleached wood here on the side. And then we're gonna also make this bleached wood right here. Yeah. Okay. And for this one, maybe we can have a, not quite sure though. So we already used the bleached wood, so we can't use too much bleached wood going on everywhere. So this one, let's try making it blue instead. Yeah, something of a blue. We got the beige wall going on here. All right. So this is just to give you guys an idea of the color scheme. Once again, it's not really, we're not really trying to make anything perfect. We're just trying to make it progress. Okay, this one here. This is also a beige wall, so we're gonna go ahead and fill that in here. Just like that. Okay. Ceiling way up here. Ah, shoot, sorry. And what else? So beige wall, beige wall, beige wall. We're still not sure how this is going to work out, so we'll have to talk to the client about the color schemes since it's not yet final, but you know, we're gonna hope for the best. I think that the idea of the color scheme that I'm coming up with is kind of a step forward. Let's look at that. So this is kind of has like a somewhat of a tropical feel to it, or Mediterranean actually, more of a Mediterranean feel to it, but gonna have like a blue blue and gold here. White Dooku. Not quite sure how we're gonna work with this one. Probably not gonna keep the white Dooku plain. Depends. Maybe we can have a shelf up here and below. Not quite sure yet, but hopefully the colors are gonna work out just fine. Here, so this is just gonna be whole awning type doors. Cabinet doors, awning type. Okay, just gonna open it that way. Then this one here is the drawer. Here we have a sliding doors, shelf. Here we're gonna have a slatted partition here with a desk here facing this way. So can probably use like a white chair. Curtains, not quite sure yet. So we still have to finalize colors, what we're doing. We have that fascia up there. Then maybe for this table we can have like a dark wood color. Something like that. I'll discuss it with the client as we go further on. So that's like the main changes so far. Sliding cabinet doors. This workstation is gonna face this way, and it's gonna have a slatted partition, wooden wall slat partition. So the bed is going to fold out in this method, where we're gonna have these. I have these fabricated so that they go inward and outward. The color scheme going somewhere along this direction, you know. Hopefully it'll look different when we start making it more realistic. Because right now we're just, like I said, we're just working with rough drawings, trying to figure out everything. And yeah, so I mentioned it earlier, I'm not really the best at color rendering. I'm more of a planning, so I'm more on solutions and stuff like that. But I still do enjoy coloring. If only that portion didn't get, if only I didn't run out of memory, you'd kind of see how passionate I am about coloring, even though I'm bad at it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys learned anything at all. But until next time, yeah, I hope you guys always take care. I hope we can always better ourselves, and bye-bye.